Taylor, and I'm the ministry team leader for Life Kids. Thank you for joining us for this training. We really appreciate all of our volunteers. We're excited that you're interested in being an MC because it is really easy and it's fun. We're going to start by going over how the area will be when the kids first come down. We want the bounce house already blown up. There's a max of 4 children at a time in the bounce house, and socks are required. So if they have sandals on, they can't go in with their sandals, they can't go in barefoot. We need to make sure they have socks on. No toys in the bounce house, and it won't be blown up after service either. No flips, tackling, or wrestling. Just make sure we keep a close eye on the kids while they're in the bounce house. And during playtime in the beginning, there used to be a beach ball down here and kids would play gaga ball, and we want to stay away from games like that. There's plenty of activities to do down here, so let's just keep the kids engaged in those activities until the video starts. We also want to make sure that we're not huddling up as leaders. We want to make sure that we're paying attention to the kids and playing with the kids while we're down here. Another important thing is to not be on your phone. We don't want to be texting or on Facebook or anything like that while the kids are down here. We want to give them our full attention. So for our MCs, we start the countdown when you hear the first song start. It'll give a 5-minute countdown, then we make sure everybody gets over to the carpeted areas. Once they're in the carpeted areas, you can quick count up how many kids there are and split them off into their groups according to how many small group leaders we have. And then from there, I usually walk around, make sure that the small group leaders don't have any questions, that the conversations are going well. And then the song will start, everyone will stand up, we'll get excited, pumped for what's to come. And then when everyone sits back down, you let them know we're going over the rules, and then they'll go over the rules. And during, so you'll have this MC guide, and if you really want like a detailed script, the inside tells you like points exactly what you can say. I usually, for the first part, I will introduce myself, introduce the small group leaders, make sure we know if anyone's new, anyone's down here for the first time. For the giving portion, if there's a lot of kids, I'll usually just choose someone to pass around the bucket, and then that will take up the whole time. But if there's only like a few kids down here and you have some extra time and the video's not starting yet, you can ask them if they know what tithing is or if they know what an offering is. And then the next break in the video will be the point connection. The point will come up on the screen. I always read the point first for anyone who's still struggling with reading so that they know what it is. And then collectively, I'll say 1, 2, 3, and everyone will repeat the point together. If it's a short point and you have a little bit of extra time, you can say, let's do it again, let's get a little louder, just get them excited about it. And then the next break in the video will be the verse connection. And during the video, they'll show you the motions and everything for the verse. We want to make sure that we're doing the motions during the video. The small group leaders, everybody should be doing it. And then something that I always tend to do is tell the kids that I might have forgot the motion, so I need a lot of help with it, to encourage everybody to do the motions when we repeat the verse. And then after that, they'll break off into their small groups. During the small groups, the small group leaders will kind of take control of the kids, but we should, as MCs, be walking around, still talking to them about their activity, making sure that everything is going all right. Sometimes I'll come back and look at, what's ahead. I'll look at my sheet, but for the most part, we should be out there in the groups too and making sure that everything's running smoothly. And then it will be time for worship. So a little bit of the video will play, and then we get everybody excited for worship, make sure that everybody is standing. Even if they're not participating, we still want them to be standing. And then after worship, they will sit back down again, watch a little bit more of the video, and they will break off into their small groups again. And so while they're in their small groups and they're having their discussions, I usually take around the point sheet and make sure every kid gets one of these. And now I'm going to talk about our point sheets. So all of the kids will get one of these at the end when they're in their small groups, and they can take them home and fill them out and bring them back the next week to earn points. They get 10,000 for doing the activity, 5,000 for remembering the point, 10,000 for remembering the verse and the motions. And with these two, we can help them. We can kind of encourage them and help them remember it, because it is a lot to remember. And then they also get another 5,000 for their parents signing it. So total, they can earn up to 30,000. We want to give them their points at the beginning of service. So if someone comes down with a sheet, just make sure they come over and we give them their points. Their name will be on the top of this card, and then you can highlight however many points they earned. And then we want to save redeeming their points and finding out how many points they have for the end. So when they're back in their small groups, that's the time that the MC can come up here and, either let them know how many points they have, or if they want to redeem a prize, they can come up at that time. If they do redeem their points for a prize at the end, we want to make sure that it stays in its packaging and they don't open it until they get home with their parents. Then the security will call people upstairs, and the MC and security will work together on that. The thing we're going to talk about is after service is over and all of the kids have gone upstairs to their parents, we want to make sure the area is neat and tidy and all of the toys are put away and all of the squares in the floor are put back together for safety reasons. We are going to fill out these cards for first-time guests. So if you had a new kid in your small group, the small group leader, this is an example. This is the mailbox that they'll go in when you're all finished. And you don't have to follow the example exactly. You want to make sure you add something personal, like if you played basketball with them, you're great at playing basketball, or just something encouraging, something positive. And then you're going to sign your name and put that you were a small group leader or an MC, whatever your role was for that day. And then you'll put them in the mailbox, and they will go out to the kids during the week to let them know that we enjoyed having them and encourage them to come back. And then once all of that is done, you can go home or go to worship.